Okay, we've been following this sick and twisted rape case in Steubenville, Ohio. The two teenagers accused of raping a 16-year-old girl while she was unconscious were convicted yesterday. And the high school football players maintained their innocence throughout the trial, but they never took the stand. This case drew national attention for the disturbing text messages, cell phone pictures, videos, and social media posts that followed the attack.
It's a case that has riveted and divided a community. Two Steubenville, Ohio high school football players on trial for raping a 16-year-old during a night of parties in August. In this picture, the accused, 16-year-old Malik Richmond on the left and 17-year-old Trent Mays on the right, carrying the alleged victim by her hands and feet. Prosecutors say she was too drunk to consent. The defense says they are innocent. The case has taken on a life of its own on social media. In this video from Deadspin, teens talk about the alleged crime in a vulgar fashion.
Hey, what if that was your daughter?
But it isn't. If that was my daughter, I wouldn't care. I'd just let her be dead.
Thursday in court, a computer expert read hundreds of text messages from up to 17 different cell phones. One from the alleged victim said, quote, "I think I was drugged. I have no memory after I left." Another sent from May's phone said, "Yeah, dude, she was like a dead body. I just needed some sexual attention." In other messages, he denied having sex with the victim, but did say there was sexual activity between the two. The defense questioned who really sent the messages. The case has prompted protests and touched many in the community. Both the local prosecutor and judge recused themselves because of connection to the people involved.
I was born and raised here, and it is a good town.
Has it divided the town?
I think it has.
Some see the football players as getting special treatment, where others see the alleged victim as targeting the team or outsiders, stirring up trouble.
Sick and twisted story. But now we're joined by prosecutor turned defense attorney Anna Young, who's going to help us understand both sides of the story. Welcome back to Primetime, Anna.
Thanks for having me, Taylor.
I mean, I have daughters, so it's very hard for me to even talk about this. It makes my stomach turn.
And it makes my stomach turn too as a woman. I don't think any woman in this country could listen to this story and not be incensed. It's disgusting.
And I have to ask you, what kind of parents do these boys have? I mean, because I'm sorry, but they act like monsters.
That's what a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
Where are the parents? And when you think about the culture involving these Steubenville kids, think Friday Night Lights. We're talking about kids who are idolized because they're really good at football.
They have celebrity status.
Right, whether Trent Mays, one of the defendants, he was a quarterback, and then you have got Malik Richmond, who was a wide receiver. These kids were placed on a pedestal, and my understanding is that Steubenville, a lot of the population was supporting these kids, saying, you know what, she deserved it, she had it was coming to her, she got
why
really
did they
drunk.
say that?
What happened, Taylor, was that this girl, she was 16 years old, had about half a bottle of vodka. Okay, so it got to the point where she was.
I would be passed out. I'd probably die from that.
I think I'd be comatose too. I'd be done, right? So she has half a bottle of vodka, and then she gets passed around throughout the night as they go party hopping, party hopping, party hopping.
They take her with her like a rag doll.
They take her with her, and at some point in time,
her with them. Yeah.
Correct. And at some point in time, she's in a vehicle, right? And this is when one of the incidents occur. She's in a vehicle, and she's passed out, according to one of the witnesses. This witness is videotaping on his iPhone as Trent Mays is digitally penetrating her, and what that means is he used his finger to insert it in her vagina.
Insert what?
His finger in her vagina. And this kid is videotaping
I thought you said
this.
digitally penetrating her. I thought you might put the phone there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
who knows with these crazy kids? But okay, to back up a little bit, why was she with these group of boys? Did she think she trusted them, obviously?
Right. She was friends with one of the boys, at least, Trent Mays, and there were text messages between them saying, hey, we're having a party tonight, you need to come to this party. Apparently it was back to school, end of summer type of party. So she ends up coming, and keep in mind, this minor, this victim, was from West Virginia. So she comes to Steubenville to go to this party, and what's really irritating to me, Taylor, is
how
that
old is she?
16.
And where are her parents? Why are they letting her go? What is wrong with these parents?
She told her parents that she was sleeping over at a friend's house.
So that's why parents follow up and check.
Exactly.
And you drive over there and make sure that your kid's doing what they said they're doing.
If I were a parent, I would say, is my daughter spending the night?
It's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship until they're on their own. Okay, go on. What happens then?
So she goes from West Virginia, she goes to Steubenville, and she goes to this party. She gets drunk, and a lot of the girls were saying that they asked her, stop drinking, and she wouldn't stop drinking. Got to the point where she got so inebriated that she didn't know what she was doing. Now the defense, the legal argument from the defense is that she knew what she was doing. She was capable of consenting. It was
She's
consent.
16 years old. She's drinking. She's trying to fit in. She was just,
Exactly, and that's the prosecutor's perspective. The
And who
prosecutors-
cares?
And that's
It's
my
irrelevant.
point too. And my point is that just because a female gets drunk or makes a poor decision by getting so drunk, that doesn't mean she had it coming to her, or that she deserves to be raped or penetrated like that. And that's something that we really need to consider in the Steubenville case, because she wasn't actually raped in the sense of what we think about rape.
Like
there was no sexual intercourse.
penetration, yeah.
Right. But in the state of Ohio, they say that any kind of penetration, such as what they did, counts as rape. And that's why these two minors were charged with rape of this young
Good.
girl. Right.
good. They need to be the poster children for everybody to see worldwide. So, boys and girls, whatever, think twice about doing stupid, heinous crimes against innocent people.
And that's what the judge was saying. The judge was saying, I hope that all of you learn your lesson from this, in the sense that social media has taken over, because I feel like this case is going to go down in history as the case where these kids were convicted because of social media. What happened, Taylor, was that they started posting pictures on Instagram. Bragging. People are saying, oh, this dead body, making jokes about this dead body. And I even have it pulled up on my iPad, that picture where she's passed out and they're holding her like she's a pig.
And her legs spread. They are holding her like she's a pig. You're right.
And she's clearly censored out of here, but apparently she was half naked. This girl wakes up the next morning in a basement naked, doesn't know where her phone is, doesn't know where her clothing is, and apparently at some point in time, and I know this sounds graphic, but at some point in time she had semen on her stomach, and people were taking pictures of her.
Okay, so they did, obviously, you're saying that they penetrated her with their fingers, but they were doing something else if she has semen on her stomach. I mean, obviously.
And what happened in this case was that it didn't get reported until days later, because she found out by looking online. She saw on Instagram, she saw on Twitter, she saw on
She
Facebook.
was that out of it, huh?
And she saw her picture and she said, what happened? I have no idea what happened. Her parents then go to the police. And this has really divided Steubenville, a small town of only 18,000 people.
Good.
Some of the people are saying, you know what? She deserved it. She
Those
was asking
people
for it.
Are heinous group of subset people that don't belong on this planet to begin with, if they feel that way, if you ask me.
I hear you're passionate about that.
Let me tell you, I am passionate. Like, what archaic thinking is like, where are they 100 years behind, 200 years behind?
And what's horrible about everything is that Trent Mays, one of the defendant, kept text messaging the minor, the victim, saying, you're going to ruin my football career. You're going to ruin my football career. And she's saying, you know what? You're making me more mad.
Can you imagine her life now? Like
Exactly.
she's like the Scarlet Letter now. Good for her that she was brave enough to, even come forward. We're going to go to the Attorney General for Ohio and hear what he has to say.
I'm afraid people are going to walk away and say, oh, this is all about Steubenville. It's not. It's a cultural problem. I will guarantee you that there are crimes very similar to this that occur every Friday night and every Saturday night in communities across this country, where you have people, young people particularly, who are drinking much too much, and a girl is taken advantage of.
Well, I mean,
And that's what the Attorney General is saying, is that he is not going to let any rock uncovered or unturned. He's going to say, you know what, there were 16 people who didn't talk to me, and I believe that some people have information. So what he's saying is that with a grand jury, there's a potential of more people being charged, for instance, of not reporting a felony or destruction of evidence, as evidenced by the fact that that one minor had videotaped the incident and deleted it.
just from a prosecutor standpoint, what chance do these guys have?
Well, I think it's going to be very difficult. It really depends upon whether these kids even start talking and what the grand jury believes. From a prosecutor's perspective, because so much time has passed, how are they going to be able to establish the destruction of evidence? I mean, clearly that one minor admitted to it, but there's going to be a lot of forensic testing that has to be conducted in order for them to
And if you were defending the boys, how would you, I know that's hard, I mean, I don't even want to hear you say this, but how would you defend them?
Yeah, well, defending these boys or defending the boys in the future? Or in the potential future? Well, I think with defending these kids, the defense was left with a situation where it was all about social media, it was all about hearsay, it was all about he allegedly said this or he allegedly saw this. And keep in mind, these minors were all drinking at the party, so how credible could these accounts really be?
So all they have to do is discredit her and discredit their testimony.
Right, and that's what they were doing too. They were saying that it was consensual and that she knew what she was doing.
Really? She looks like she's like being held like a pig and lifeless body.
And I think that photograph is one of the most damaging pieces of evidence. I do.
Unbelievable. Thank you, Anna. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for
getting
having me.
your expertise. It's very important to us at Primetime and
I
to our
appreciate
viewers.
it. Thank you so much.
Okay, we got to take a quick break. Primetime, we'll be right back.